Under a heavy grey sky, the city slow, sounds soften, colours fade. But even on a quiet day, Osaka reveals its stories. Forgotten corners, faded signs, street corners touched by the remnants of the city's hustle and bustle. Through the eye of a photographer, the ordinary becomes something worth remembering. This is a walk through stillness and the unnoticed beauty of Osaka. He walked quietly along the river. Reflections rippled across the surface, patterns distorted by the wind, cast by the building across the water. Everything around him was steel and glass, except for one red brick building that stood apart, its symmetrical windows aligned like a quiet rhythm from another time. He was heading to a museum where an exhibition he'd been looking forward to was on display. After buying a ticket, he took the long escalator down to the underground gallery. It was featuring the work of Wolfgang Tillmans, one of his favorite photographers. Tillmans had once held a major solo exhibition here in Osaka. This might have been his first visit since then. And there it was, the enormous photograph of a crab. It never failed to overwhelm him. Something so ordinary, made strangely unfamiliar through scale and composition. Tillmans had a gift for transforming the everyday using the simplest techniques, yet still evoking something profoundly new. Then came the photograph of a piled heap of laundry, another intimate domestic scene elevated into something monumental. One from a series of still life photographs by a window was also on display, quiet, minimal, and full of tranquility. These were hallmarks of Tillmans' approach. In the next room, a different artist's installation, a mirror ball, light bouncing in fragments, simple, yet mesmerizing. He arrived in Dotonbori. The sky hung heavy with clouds, grey and flat. No sunlight today, but that was fine. There was beauty in this kind of light too. He noticed weathered signs, faded colours and worn textures. Tourists passed beneath them, flowing steadily. To his right, the Dotonbori Canal drifted quietly. He decided to follow its edge, camera in hand. Bright flowers bloomed along the sidewalk, and just beside them, discarded wrapping, a remnant left by passing traffic. It was details like this that often caught his eye. A strange rooftop shape emerged in the distance, rounded, warped, almost cartoonish. In this flat light, its oddness was heightened. Shadows were soft, but the form stood out even more clearly. The canal path was mostly empty. Weekday afternoons were like that. At night, he imagined it would become something entirely different. Colourful murals covered the walls along the riverside. Across the bridge, he noticed a crowd, one of the busiest streets. As he moved closer, the crowd thickened, and there it was, the iconic Glico sign in the distance, its arms raised in mid-run. He paused in front of the Don Quixote entrance. Its bright logo clashed vividly with a nearby patch of red flowers, but the contrast was striking, drawing the viewer's gaze with unexpected harmony. A large silver truck was parked nearby. Though industrial and plain, its surface reflected faint colours from the surrounding city. Even in stillness, it carried a quiet nuance. Now he had stepped into the heart of Dotonbori. The street pulsed with life, students, elders, tourists, families. Many held up their smartphones, trying to capture fleeting fragments of the city. He turned into a narrow back alley. Here the atmosphere shifted, less raw, more texture. Perhaps because it was quiet during the day but noisy at night, the street felt both cluttered and abandoned. A video screen shimmered nearby. Images melted and reformed, never staying still. Near a parking lot stood a half-demolished building. Its bones were exposed, beams, concrete walls, dismantled window frames. He paused. The architecture of decay always told a story. Just beside it, a claw machine buzzed with flashing lights. Inside Riverside were rows of identical Expo 2025 mascot plushies, smiling, frozen, stacked like souvenirs from the future. The further he walked, the more red appeared. Signs, curtains, lanterns, reflections. The color gave the street its rhythm. He passed a ramen shop, steam rising from its doorway. Laughter spilled out, carried on the rich scent of broth. Everything felt compressed, chaotic, alive, unmistakably real. He raised his camera again, another frame to keep, another layer of Osaka revealed. He made his way toward Tsutenkaku. The clouds were thick now, layer upon layer of grey with not a trace of blue. They darkened with each passing minute, threatening rain. It felt as though the city were holding its breath. The street leading to the tower was lively, messy, full of clutter and colour. The palette reminded him of Dotonbori, reds, yellows, glowing signs. It was Osaka in its most honest form. The entrance to the tower came into view. He bought a ticket and stepped into the elevator, which climbed slowly upward. Through the glass, the city spread out beneath him, dim, subdued, waiting. At the top, the view opened wide, not dazzling, but haunting in its stillness. Below him, the city stretched endlessly, a mosaic of rooftops, narrow alleys, and blinking signs. Above it all hung a heavy sky, painted in countless shades of grey. The clouds were thick, low, and unmoving, as if the sky itself were holding its breath. Shadows blurred, colours faded. The light was flat, yet strangely beautiful, soft, diffused, with no clear source. You could almost hear the silence before the rain. A city so often loud and bright now felt suspended in time, waiting for the first drop to fall. He stayed for a while, quietly watching the city below. When he finally descended and stepped back onto the street, the first drops of rain had begun to fall. A city beneath the clouds. Ordinary moments, passed by but not unseen. A photograph doesn't need sunlight, just a reason to pause. He came without searching, and still, he found something worth remembering. This was Osaka. Quiet, imperfect, and real. If this quiet walk through Osaka spoke to you, consider subscribing for more moments like these.